All right, welcome back, everybody. This is MDawg. Uh, Taking a break from trying to catch all those presents at Mosquito Lake and Russian fishing for. but yeah, I want to start. Possibly, we'll see how this goes. I want to start trying to play a few of the games that kind of intersect with my IRL interest of board and card games. Really, have been getting into a lot of board and card games. Lately. My kids have kind of hit an age where they're like super into it. So especially over this holiday break, we've just had a chance to get a lot of cool stuff to the table. This is a one deck dungeon. This is actually a game that I've never played in real life, and so somewhat limited to what I can play on Steam and what maybe works good in a video format like this. But One Deck Dungeon, another game that I've thought about looking at is a dice game that's on Steam that does not represent an in real life card or board game, but it kind of has that feel to it. But this one actually is. I mean, you can go to Amazon or your local game store if they have this in stock, or wherever you purchase board games or card games, and you can buy this. I think the starter set, there's some expansions they sell, but I think the starter set maybe somewhere between $20 and $30. But like I said, I've only played this on the digital version, which is what we're gonna do here. This was designed by Chris Cieslik, if I'm saying that correctly. Published, I think, most recently by Asmodee. It's on Board Game Geek. If you're not familiar with that website, it's a great resource if you're into board and card games. That was Board Game Geek. It's got a rating of 7.0, which is sort of an average of ratings out of 10. That's pretty high for what this is, so it shows you it's a decent game in IRL at least. The weight on Board Game Geek, which is not the best measurement, but at least gives you an idea. It's got a weight of 2.03, which what that means, if you're not familiar, is that it's a fairly light game, and you can sort of imagine as you're playing through the digital version, if you had the actual cards and other tools in front of you for this game, it would probably be a pretty light game. Playtime says 30 to 45 minutes, 14 and older. It is 1 to 2 player. It is a co-op game, or obviously something you can play solitaire, which is what we'll be doing here. So we're going to do new game, and we're just going to choose one hero. We're going to choose Paladin. One of the cool things about this game that I really like, and I mentioned before that there's a ton of DLC. You'll see it, the different dungeons, which are represented by the final boss in that dungeon. Some of them have DLC, and you can go on the Steam and you can see, I mean, the base game, which has a ton of content, I mean, it's like $1 or $2. I mean, it's very cheap. So, I mean, if this looks interesting to you, it's a kind of a no-brainer. I guess we'll try Hydra's Reef. I've actually never gone into this one before. I've always done Dragon's Cave because I've only played a couple of characters, and until you level them up a little bit, I don't think you're necessarily supposed to progress, because that's one of the cool things about this game, is as you complete runs, whether you're successful or not, you get a certain amount of experience, and then you can choose where you put points. I don't know if you can tell, there are little circles that have been filled in here, primarily under the basic. I've done a couple of other ones, but mostly I think the idea is to fill in the basic ones first. Or it's something you can do to make your character stronger so that you can then level them up, get better abilities, and try to take on the higher level dungeons. So for this example, kind of showing you what the game's like, we are going to go into the Hydra's Reef. There are other characters here as well. And again, if you get DLC, there's even more characters. In fact, it goes on and on. It's actually quite amazing. And all of these will have sort of their own flavor. I do have progression checked, and that's just kind of indicating that you're wanting to sort of do the campaign mode where you're actually leveling your characters up and stuff. So we'll hit start game. I think, especially if I lower this a little bit, we're not going to be in the way of anything here. And so basically, again, a very simplistic game. You can kind of imagine, again, though I haven't seen this in real life, although that's what I was going to mention before. We've got a couple of used bookstores in around where we live that sell board games, and I could see, especially if I saw real good deal on this, a used copy of it, I'd probably just pick it up because it does seem pretty fun. But you can kind of imagine how you'd be shuffling the deck here, going into different encounters. One of the key things, I mean, this is a dice game, ultimately. One of the key things that the way time is measured is every time you do something, a certain amount of time runs out. And when this runs out, we will be forced, if we sort of survive through the first floor, we'll be forced to descend to the second floor. And then again, when that time runs out, third floor. And when that time runs out, if it's like the first dungeon, at least that's when we would face the final boss, again, if we're still alive. Randomness here, you can kind of choose which door you want to go through to explore first. And it will be some sort of either, a barrier, which is what this is, or, an enemy you need to defeat. Now, the next thing to mention, when you see the blue, that kind of goes with your, what do they call it in this game? Actually, I can't remember. This is sort of your, almost like a measure of intelligence, maybe. Agility would be the pink. Strength is the yellow. And then this is your hit points down here on the red where the heart is. So, to get past the arrow wall, you can choose to try to use a magic shield to protect yourself from it. And that would be keying into your intelligence rating. Or you can try to rush through, which would be your agility. As a paladin, and every character is going to be different on what your strengths and weaknesses are. And obviously you're also changing those strengths and weaknesses as you go. So as a paladin, obviously we're going to choose magic shield. We could flee. There's no penalty other than when we would lose a little bit of time. But if it's a matchup that's just awful for you, sometimes it is better to flee instead. We're going to go ahead and enter. It did show us the rewards we can get, but all that sort of, not that it's not important, but it's not necessarily something to focus on the first time you're looking at this. So this is where we get our die. We're going to be getting skills that will be over here. Right now we do have one skill called armor. And basically that says, again, this is every character's is a little different, but that says if we're going to take 2 pieces of damage, we'll only take 1 instead. We also have a valiant heroic feat. When we go into more difficult encounters, that will trigger. But so we get 3 die for intelligence. So that's our 3 die. And then we get 1 sort of trump die that we can use for anything. And that's really all we have. Potions, you can heal with potions, but you have a set amount. This is reminding you what the general supply is, things you can draw from. And you also are leveling up your hero. Actually, outside of the run, you have an overall level where you're improving your hero. But inside the run, you still start at level 1. And as you choose to get experience as rewards, you can level it up so that you can hold more items, have more skills, that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is going to click on the die. And then at this point, the game really becomes mostly like a puzzle. So we basically just want to cover these 2 things with our die. This is going to be very easy for us. We have a 5 that directly covers the 5 and a 6 that directly covers the 6. Notice the size of these windows here. The small one means that we had to do this with 1 die. So we could have actually put the 6 there. You can do more than, or you can do exactly. And then you can put, but this is a big wall, so we can put multiple die in here. It doesn't benefit us to go over, but we went over, whatever. But again, this first encounter, very easy for us. So we can get an additional intelligence if we choose this as our reward, or we can get an additional potion. And what this means, if we use a potion, we can roll 3 intelligence die. Probably not what I want to choose though, because not knowing how hard this encounter is going to be, we might want to save all of our potions to heal. I think I will choose a 4th intelligence die. So now you see that we have 4 over here. So if we go another intelligence check in the next room, then we've got an extra die to sort of try to meet that. Looks like another barrier. This very repetitive arrow wall. So I will enter this and try to kind of move through this a little quicker. I'm not used to seeing 2 of basically the same things right in a row like this. All right. Again, very easy for us to cover this, especially with us having that Now we can get a strength, which I like that. I like getting paladin up to at least 4. Many of the enemies we're going to want to have strength. Now we could get a second. We could get a second skill. This skill is interesting. So what that means is if we give up our 1 pink die, which we're only going to have 1 right now, we can prevent 1 damage in a normal fight or 2 damage in a boss fight. That's a pretty cool skill. I haven't seen that one before. I am going to go with the strength die. Just not knowing what we're going to be facing here shortly, but that skill was pretty cool looking. We do need to pick a skill pretty soon. Alright, so this time we hit a bear trap. No enemies so far. Alright, this is very unfortunate for us. If we roll a perfect 6, we could target that. I mean, basically, it's very unlikely that we'll be able to get through this. So we will probably. So this would give us 3 damage. We could cover 1, take 2 damage. I think we just flee instead of taking the damage. So we lose a little bit of time, but I'm okay with that. All right, here's our first encounter. That's going to be a fight. So we're going to be able to use all of our dice, but as you can see, it's a lot more complicated, sort of the puzzle in terms of trying to cover everything. As a reward, we could get... This allows us to turn 3 intelligence die. Hopefully it is called intelligence. I'm sort of assuming it is, into 2 agility. So this could help us in certain times. Yeah, okay, we'll try it. Let's see if we can defeat this wraith. Oh, before the encounter, convert 1 item to XP. We have to get rid of an item here. Do we want to lose the strength or the intelligence? I think we lose the strength. That's actually really weird. Okay. So we actually lost that item to this wraith. That was one of the... It's called Drain, one of its abilities. Alright, let's go ahead and roll our die. Kind of a cool, sees the die rolling. This is a very basic exercise, right? I mean, you really have to be... I think part of why I enjoy this, because I can imagine having this in front of me in real life. I've played solo or co-op games like this where you're sort of facing the deck. In fact, I've played much more complicated things than this. But this is pretty simple, but I find it to be pretty fun. I'm definitely wishing we had some skills here. This is when, there's a lot of skills that convert certain dice to other dice, and maybe you give up 1 dice, but you get to choose 4 dice to increase the numbers on them. We got sort of a low roll on some things here. Let's start going through this. We just have very little options. One thing we can do, you can always take 2 die and turn it into a black die, which you can use for anything. But whatever the lowest number of the die you turn in, that's going to be the one that you get out as the new trump die. But right now we have no way of covering this. We can cover this. So what we'll end up doing. By the way, another thing with this, you have to defeat the shields first before you can face everything else. So if we weren't able to do these shields, which thankfully we can, 5, 6, 7. Actually, let's do this. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we can cover this with 5. So we can get to some of this. We'd never get to this. I'm actually thinking about... No, I guess we don't. Yeah, so we just get everything except for this 6. And I don't think there was any way around that. Not that I saw. So we take 1 damage. It's okay. Lose a little time. We still haven't, we haven't healed. All right, let's see what this skill is. Give up 3 intelligence to roll 2. This gives us haste, basically. Or we could take another strength die to get back what we lost. I don't love this skill. I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll get that strength die back. All right, so we don't want to go into the bear trap, but it will let us, the 3 rooms we have explored, we can get new ones to go check out now. kill the rat. Hopefully it doesn't have any mean abilities. Alright, this skill might be good. We turn in 2 strength, we get 1 strength back, and a wild card die. That might be a good one, so maybe we end up taking that if we can defeat this rat. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, we should have fleed, right? We have... I don't think we're going to be able to even do the green shield. This is basically an animal or a creature that we want to have haste to have any chance against it. I mean, that's all we can do. Actually, that's not all we can do. Let me think about this. This is where we're going to have to do something weird with 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's how we're going to have to do it. We get through it. We're going to take a lot of damage here, but we're also going to lose a lot of time. That's all we can do. Wasn't the best move. I mean, I should have just straight up avoided that. But I wasn't paying attention. I think we take this skill now. We could get as our 3rd item a 2nd pink die. Do we just do that? I think this skill is worth it. We'll do the skill. The skills at least give you some more flexibility. I feel like that's why you want them. Crushing Blow I like a lot. You give up 1 strength and you get an automatic rolled 6 strength. So like if you roll a 1 on one of your strength dies, you turn that 1 into a 6. I like this a lot. The problem here is look at all this we have to cover. All right. So that covers that. We need 4s. We have to get these shields, so this can do this one. And then I think we have to turn these 2 die into a high enough. Actually, maybe we do these 2 die and keep the 6. This gives us a 3 that we can use there. Yeah, that's not too bad. The other thing I was thinking is we could use this, turn this into a... oh, we don't have that skill yet. I think it's just better to keep it and do this, right? Wait, we have to do this, don't we? So let's try our ability. This might be a bad idea. Now we roll them. It just depends on what we roll. Oh, we got a really good roll. We're very fortunate. So we end up doing that, and then we're going to use a potion here to take off a couple. And then we'll take 1 more damage. But that ended up being a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think I like this skill here. We ideally, because of the way our skills have worked out, we probably want to get 1 more strength die. That's what I'm thinking at least. This is our last encounter before we're going to have 1 black die. I think that's what that means. Immediately discard all 1s and 3s rolled. This could be devastating. All right, let's just try it. I think that, yeah, I don't know. This is going to be tough. All right. So we get 1 extra black die. Ooh, yikes. That's gone. We can't have that happen anymore. Look at all those 1s that are just going to be gone. Holy cow. And that's where you just get unlucky. I think that's going to be ball game. We have to cover that, and we just can't cover that. So there's like pretty much nothing else we could do. Yeah, that's ball game. Cover up one thing, heal to see if that... Oof. That's brutal. That is brutal. You hate to see it, but, I mean, we had no way around it. Triple threat. But look at this. I'm going to... no, I guess we do this. I love this skill. I've never seen it before. But especially if you were playing a warrior, which has a ton of strength, so a ton of the yellow die. Imagine having this. It gives you so much flexibility. You just turn in 3 of those strength die. You get an automatic 5, 5, 5 of a variety of dice colors. And then one of them turns into a 6. That's really cool. But we'll take this. And now we're full. I don't think we can hold any more items till we level up. And now we descend. So you see the time has run up. So now we go to level 2. There's no way. I don't think this run we're gonna make it down to the final boss. So we'll just kind of do a couple more rooms, and we'll probably call it. In fact, I might even like intentionally end the run after we look at a couple of these rooms. But at least you get the feel of how this game goes. So it does give you this message here, Paladins at their limit. So it's telling you in advance, you can't choose this item. Now, if we level up, if we start choosing the XP bonus, and we get to level 2, we'll be able to hold one more item. So that's cool. We don't need a skill. So most likely here, we're choosing XP. We've got 4 strength die, so this is at least a possibility. We might be able to finesse this one. All right, we have to do that with a 5. So we do this with a 4. Yeah, we're fine. All right. And now we want to choose XP. We have 0 potions at the moment, by the way. I think this is, yeah, intelligence works really good against these puzzles. So having 4, unless we get a really bad roll, we probably are okay here. We do have a 3, which is perfect. We have a 5. Yeah, we just one-shot this. No finessing at all required. So some things were set up pretty good. Oh, here's a potion. But it's a different potion. I don't think it actually gives us more potions. I think we have to take XP because, you know, if we thought we were actually going to get further this run, we want to be able to add new dice. It's a glooping ooze. We have no chance. I shouldn't say that. We have... It's hard to imagine how this is going to work out, but we'll see. That's interesting. So every one, so if we had rolled a bunch of 1s this time, it would have taken more of our time. So we're actually not. We're actually going to be able to cover this completely, aren't we? That's amazing. That is amazing to me that we got through that. I'm wondering if we actually choose this, replace this, but because it's going to give us an extra heart, and we're exchanging 1 strength for another, and you still get the XP for the item that you lost. So I think that was the way to go. So now we do have the 4 die still, but we also got an additional health. We got a potion as well. So one thing I haven't tracked is, do we only get, maybe we got a potion because we leveled up. It's the only thing I can think of. Ooh. We want to try to disenchant this. I don't think we should have taken 2 skills that help our strength, right? It's too narrow of a focus. So ideally we want to do that a little different next time. Now, one thing that's nice is we can replace our armor ability if we see one we really like. Like maybe this, turn 3 intelligence into 2 pink. It's interesting. We could choose this item and get a 5th strength. We had that one really bad encounter. I don't know that I feel like we're... Oh, it's time to descend, actually. That went fast. Floor 2 went really quick. But we did have that one really bad encounter. That probably took a ton of time because we didn't really cover we almost covered nothing, so. A bandit. Making a black dice uses 3 dice, not 2. So that actually changes the rule of our ability here. Instead of 2, it takes 3. So that's pretty bad. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, just not enough agility to go against him. We probably have to turn these 3 6s into a just not going to have enough, right? Let's see. Actually, you know, because of the skills we do have, man. Do we really have to use this? Yeah, because we don't need the blue anyway, and there's nothing else we can do with the blue. Alright, so I think we're good now, aren't we? We're still... We didn't cover one thing, but all things considered, we did pretty well there. Go ahead and use the potion. Defeat the bandit. And I think... Oh, we can't take away the paladin's base skill. So if we could do that, that would be cool. But we can't, so let's take the XP, I guess. Can we use our... Yeah, we'll clobber the logs. Use our strength here. Shouldn't be a problem unless we have some really bad rolls. Really good rolls. Wow. We didn't even need the trump die there. 4. That's amazing. Some of these like next level skills are really good. I haven't seen them. I guess because this is a higher level dungeon than what I've faced before. That looks really good. We just don't have 4 intelligence. If we had... Oh, we do because of that. So if we don't need the intelligence, we could trade them all for 4 strength and 4 dexterity. But then we have no intelligence left. It seems like we will need some intelligence. Yeah, I don't know. That looked like a really strong skill, though. My goblin. Look at all this pink. We are in trouble. We could just flee it. We could just flee it. Because of the amount of agility it requires. I mean, I guess we probably will get to the final boss here, unless we just get a really unlucky thing. But, I mean, it's looking like we will. Ooh, talking about low roll. We're going to have to use... Why can't I use Crushing Blow here? Still don't know why it's not letting me use Crushing Blow. Okay, we actually did get a really low roll. So we have to cover this first, and we can't. We can't do it. Because it's not letting us use this. I wonder why. I'm not really sure. Ooh, I like Cleave a lot. I've used this before. Do I like it better than Crushing Blow? Maybe. Alright, we can hold a new item now. So it'd be nice if we could do one more thing before going down to the boss. Eesh. We can't, though. What happens if we stay? I think we start taking damage because we're staying too long. Okay, so we can get an agility. Yeah, we'll try it. So nice roll here, I think. Maybe not as good as I thought. So we have to cover that. Oh, we're fine. I wasn't looking at it right. We'll go ahead and use our potion. And we'll end encounter, and then we'll go down for sure. So we want to take the item. And now we want to descend. So this should be the boss, unless it doesn't always do the same number of floors. Yeah, there we go. Before placing damage, remove 1 damage from Hydra for each uncovered skull. Wow. Okay. We always want to cleave here, right? And right now we've got 15, 18. We can't even do all of that. 6, 11. We can do that, and then we can do that. We can't do that. Do we maybe want to get one of these and then just do the rest? Does it matter which ones we do? It's getting a little late. I don't know that I can really think through it. Let's just see how this goes. All right. Let's cover what we can cover. It's not perfect, but let's see. 6, 12. We probably just do one of these, right? 6, 12, 17. 12. I just don't think there's a way we can... Can we do this one? just leave this one completely open. That's the only thing, is that we can't hit that either. I mean, we could take a chance, see if we get a high roll on our persistence, but that is so unlikely. I guess we could also, we don't need the blue, right? There's no way to get, I mean, we're also not going to use that pink, so we can turn this into a 4 anything. I don't know that that really helps us, though. We're still way short, right? Yeah. I don't think there's anything. Okay. So let's just end round, see what happens. Yikes. That's what happens. The Hydra defeated us. Okay, and that's the end of the run. So we earned 5 experience that time. So maybe, you know, maybe we want to put a point into... I kind of want to get... We have 3, so... you may have 1 extra skill or item. I'm surprised it started. That's weird that it's filling them in that order. I actually don't completely understand why it's doing it in that order. I think I do want to do crafty, though. We'll just start. I'm trying to fill up some of these basic ones. I think the basic ones, because I don't, you know, haven't played the character enough to see all of the combinations and stuff, it probably makes sense to start with the basic level ups. But anyway, Paladin's a little stronger now. I think because of how we filled these in, we should be able to have 1 extra skill or item at this point next time we run it. So, you know, next time we want to start a new game, we'll have a little stronger character. And like I said, there's tons of characters, tons of different dungeons. And then the DLC seems to add, like, you can choose a fiend, which is like an optional enemy you can run into. But again, all of those are difficult. I mean, are all of those with DLC. It also allows you to change the difficulty there. Novice, standard, veteran, fearless. You can change the regular difficulty that way. You can play with 2 heroes, not 1. Anyway, this is One Deck Dungeon. It is available on Steam. Very cheap if this kind of thing looks fun to you. I quite enjoy it, but I do realize that a lot of why I enjoy it is because other than playing RF4 right now, mostly what I'm doing is either in real life or sometimes digitally playing board and card games. And this kind of scratches that same itch when you don't have someone to like sit down at the table with. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching. This is One Deck Dungeon. Let me know if you play any digital card or board games online. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Playing them through Steam is just one of many ways, obviously. There's even just sort of programs that create digital digital tables, and then programs to put different board games on those tables. You can go pretty deep into the weeds there. I mostly, play board and card games in real life. So in terms of digitally, if it's not on Steam or something that's like AI run, then I haven't gotten into that a whole lot yet. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.